Is off today. Will be back with us tomorrow. Jason Ross here, and we take you till 10 each and every Wednesday during the college football season. At this time, we talk with the head coach of the UC Davis Aggies, and what a run Davis is on right now after that opening loss to Cal. They now have run off 7 consecutive wins, including doing things that the Aggies hadn't done before, and that's going to Cheney and winning against the Eastern Washington Eagles. Let's bring on head coach of your UC Davis Aggies, Coach Tim Plough. Coach, it's Jason. How are you?
Good morning, man. Your solo mission, huh?
Yeah, but we're ready. We're ready for you, Coach, because you guys are hot. How was that trip to Cheney for you guys?
Well, I tell you, I've been to Cheney multiple times, and there's not much to do there. So you better be ready to roll and play some football. So luckily, we figured it out.
I know you've been there. I've been there multiple times, and I know the field's red, and I know it's weird, but every time I get there, it takes a little bit to get used to just seeing that red turf, doesn't it?
No doubt. Yeah, it's one of the cooler experiences, I think, from a football standpoint that I've been a part of. Playing on that field, it's got a good vibe to it. Crowd's always really into it, and I think our guys did a great job of just understanding how important the moment was and playing some good football.
I've also felt of all the places in the Big Sky, they all have their unique quirks. They all could be tough places to play. I feel like that place, and you would know better, but that's the one that kind of, I feel like wind has a factor in the game. Did it have any factor for you guys, or did it make any decisions on, hey, if it's late in the quarter, we want to punt going this way or kick going this way? How much of a factor at all Saturday was wind up there in Cheney?
Oh, it was definitely a factor. And you're right. I don't know if I've ever been there where it wasn't a factor. And the funny part was, like, all week I was told, hey, Coach, it's going to be 65 degrees, supposed to be a beautiful day. And we got out there for warm-ups, and it was about 48. Wind was like 20 miles an hour, and I'm just looking around like, gosh, this place every single time. But, again, our guys did a great job adapting. I think our kicker made 2 really difficult kicks. One, wind was at his back, one going into the wind, and our guys didn't blink.
So how long do you give, like you've told us, at Shredville, you're trying to find the joy. So, when you have success, I hope you guys are basking in that a bit. You guys hadn't beaten Eastern before, so that is significant. You're also doing great things, and I'm sure you have bigger and larger goals still ahead. But how long do you allow yourselves and your team to enjoy the achievement of winning against Eastern Washington?
Well, I think it's just the important part is you do want to celebrate wins, and you do want to congratulate each other when you put in as much work as you have and you're able to win a football game. I don't think you ever want to just dismiss that feeling, but you do want to be consistent in that. Once you get 24 hours away from that feeling, you got to restart your process because you got to be process oriented to be able to continue to win. And so our big discussion point has always been, hey, congratulations, man, this is great. You guys should be really proud of yourselves. You're accomplishing great things. But, hey, now we're on to the next phase, and let's start our process over again. What can we do better this time? What can we continue to do well that we've done well the last few weeks, and see if we can find a way to get another one?
Well, your next process is kind of a later in the season bye. You guys are rolling, but what do you do with this week as far as with your players, with your coaches, some self-evaluating, some time off, some rest, some practice? How are you handling this next week or so?
Well, one of the things I learned when I was at Boise was we got to meet with the CEO of Whole Foods, and he gave us a really good discussion about, like, you can't really find balance in life. Everyone always tries to seek balance, but there really is no balance. Like, when you're in something, that kind of outweighs everything else. And so we talk as a team about, this week we got to try to find the other part of our life, whether that be academic or family time, or, you're going to have to step away from football a little bit because if you just did it nonstop, that's not going to be healthy. So we're going to put in, 2 really good work days, practice yesterday, practice today. And then, the players will get about 4 days off here to just kind of reset their engines, get back to neutral. As coaches, we don't ever get to step away from it. So they're gonna go recruiting, but hopefully get some time this weekend with family. But it is important that we take advantage of the extra prep, and if you get 2 weeks to prepare for a team, you should play well. So hopefully we can.
Yeah, that'll be Northern Colorado when you have them back at home, and then that gauntlet to end Montana State, and Sacramento State before what you guys hope should be a postseason. The way you guys are going, and Coach, what's the value now in right now the way you guys are playing? I mean, your seniors, your leaders from Hastings to Larison, and a lot of your best players are really playing well right now. How good do you feel about? I know that could change on a dime, but how good do you feel about the way your team is going right now?
I think the best thing that we have going is that we are connected. Like, our team is connected and really unified. And that's I've been really proud of just how they've played together, because we haven't played perfect by any means, but when one side or one phase has had a tough moment or a tough quarter, someone else picks them up, and they're playing extremely well together, which is good. I think we compete, man. Like, if you play us, like, we're going to fight. We've shown, like, we've been in some bad spots. We've fought our way out of it, and I think that's been good. And I think with our veteran guys, the thing is, a lot of these guys have played a lot of football, and they've had some tough moments here. And I think that experience with as many older guys as we have, I just think the maturity of our team has really showed. And so they really want to do well. They want to do great things. They've bought into what we're trying to do. And I think that's just always going to give us a chance in every game we play. And if we want to win the game, we got to just do the things that winning football teams do. But I think they're going to always put themselves in a position to have a chance, which is all you can ask for.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to earlier in the season when we talked to you and watching you guys play. There was, I think it was Southern Utah, maybe Idaho, Portland State. Yeah, you guys were down a couple scores, but to rally and win those games, not only do you get the reward, you guys kind of figured out how to get out of those tough spots, but now it seems like you're jumping on teams earlier, and you flip that, and you guys have dictated the terms of these last couple of games. So I'm sure as a coach, you not only were proud of the comebacks, but now you're also proud of, look, now we're kind of establishing the terms of the game.
Well, I just think from a health situation too, like my body can handle these games a lot better. But I think the cool part for me has been to watch that. I'm not sure if I know that they worked hard, and I know that they were bought into what we were doing, but I don't really know if they believed or had the confidence that they could do it. And those wins early just built some confidence in them that, like, hey, we can do this. And then once we got a game or two where we really played well and scored a bunch of points, now I think they start building that swagger and confidence, like, hey, we're a good team. And I'm not sure if they really believed that until maybe the last couple of weeks, where they stacked a couple more where they really played well. So I think now you got some confidence stacked in behind the work that they've put in. And once you got that going, I think you got a chance, like I said, to hang in there with really anybody you're going to play. There's nothing they really haven't been through. And honestly, at the end of the year, if we have some close games, maybe we'll be more prepared for it, because we've been through some weird games, and maybe some other teams haven't.
So I've heard that you like to show to the team, whether it's Friday on the road or just at some point during the week, some classic fights, and there's symbolism and analogies there. What kind of is the thought process, and why has that kind of been one of the traditions you've done with the Aggies?
Well, this is probably a decade ago. I started thinking about what I could do on Friday nights that would be different when I was the offensive coordinator. And I always felt like the team, there was always a lot of anxiety. Like, it was really built up Friday nights, and they, some coaches can just get out of control. Hey, let's do a million walkthroughs and just another meeting. And it just kind of builds up more anxiety for the coaches and the players. And I just was like, man, by the time we get to Friday night, there's really nothing I can teach them or tell them. Like, at this point, we got to, the hay's in the barn. So I'm a boxing enthusiast. I mean, I love boxing, and I grew up watching it with my dad. And so I also know that these guys never watch boxing, and they don't know anything about these guys. And so I can show the Rumble in the Jungle, and they'll have no idea who won, and they'll have no idea who these guys are for the most part. And so I can kind of build up a story and build up both fighters and give them all the information, make the team choose, hey, who do you think is going to win the game? They'll split kind of the room in half, and then they can cheer on their fighter, and to see their faces when they get, surprised when these things happen. And then at the end, I try to tie that fight into the game that we're about to play. And, hey, we're going to be Muhammad Ali tomorrow. like, there's no way you can beat us. We're the greatest. We're going to step out in that field and we're going to rope-a-dope these guys and come out with the championship and try to build that fight into their mentality. And it's become a really fun thing. The guys look forward to it. And I think it also just kind of relaxes them. Don't have to worry about another meeting, and they can just kind of have some fun Friday night before we go play.
I think it's got to be fun for you knowing the outcome of the fight. And then when you're kind of seeing where the room is divided pre-fight, who they're picking, and you go, wow, interesting. You know, just kind of surveying to see who's picking who and why. That's pretty cool. And I'm sure you getting to see their reactions to the actual outcome of the fight is got to be pretty priceless for you.
It's hilarious because I try to throw out as much information as I can. And sometimes I try to maybe throw out information that might sway them one way or the other. And when I see them start buying into stuff, it just kind of makes me smile. I'm like, oh man, they have no idea what's about to happen to this guy. But that's great. Yeah. Go ahead, jump on the wagon. And then they're shocked when their guy gets knocked out or it doesn't go their way. But I think hopefully, again, with boxing just not being the same as it was when I was younger, like it's cool for me to also get to teach these guys about some great fighters and some great competitors, and it's been a fun experience.
All real fights? Are we ever dealing with, movie or television fights, made for TV fights, any of those things, or are they all real professional fights?
No, real professional fights. And we'll, sometimes we'll throw it back to way back in the day. Sometimes we do it more recently. I know we showed like Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti early in the year.
Nice.
We showed Hagler Hearns early in the year. So we'll try to get them as with some big name guys, and sometimes we'll throw in some random guys that I know nobody's never ever heard of. But I think the cool thing for them again is like they get to be connected as a team, have fun, and kind of relieve that stress a little bit. Like, hey, coach has confidence in us. We're going to win this game tomorrow, and they can go to bed fired up.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, keep up the great work. Enjoy your brief time, whatever you get to get away from football a little bit. We know you're always going to be working, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week as you get ready for Northern Colorado.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Before I leave, I got to throw a shout out to my father-in-law, Rick. He listens to you guys every morning when I come on these shows, and he gets fired up. So I want to just say hello to my father-in-law, Rick. He is one of the hardest working, coolest guys I know, and appreciate him.
We appreciate Rick. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Rick. And Coach, again, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
All right. Thank you. That's smart. Get the father-in-law mention out there. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate you listening. That's for sure. Thank you to Coach Tim Plough. Break time for us. We'll come back. Opening night in the NBA happened last night.